give yourself the grace and respect to ask yourself why you're procrastinating instead of just assuming it's just because you're lazy. Hi guys, I want to talk to you guys today about how procrastination is actually protection. We've been programmed to believe that procrastination means that we're lazy and we're not disciplined, but really, procrastination is our subconscious telling us that something isn't quite aligned with whatever it is that we're about to do. So, I'm going to talk today about how we can navigate procrastination in a healthy way that honors what procrastination is trying to tell us and also helps us move the needle. So, like I said, procrastination is just misalignment. When you are procrastinating, your subconscious is trying to tell you that something is off right now. You're misaligned with this task and whatever it is that you need to do. And everything in nature always takes the path of least resistance. And because we are human and therefore a part of nature, we should always be trying to take the path of least resistance as well. So if I'm feeling a lot of resistance to doing something, making something happen, then I know that something is off because it should flow. It should flow easier than this. And that's not to say that we don't experience challenges or hard things or everything is always going to flow very smoothly, but there's a difference between a lot of resistance. How do I put this? There's a difference between a lot of external resistance and internal resistance. And when I know that I'm resisting internally, when it is me resisting, that's something that I really need to pay attention to because somewhere there's a misalignment or there's an easier way for this thing to get done. So whenever you procrastinate, don't get mad at yourself. Don't force yourself to push through. Ask yourself why and really go through a deep journaling process to get to the root of why. Or you can even ask yourself aloud if you don't want to write it down. And here are the questions that I would ask. I have them right here. So journal or ask yourself aloud, why do I keep avoiding this? Am I really tired? Am I pushing against something that isn't meant for me? Do I just need to revisit my motivation? Those are the questions that I would ask myself aloud. Go through each of them because even if you say yes to one of them, you're like, well, maybe that other one doesn't apply. Doesn't matter. Make yourself answer it because some hidden things may come up. You may say some things. And you're like, oh, I didn't know I was feeling that way. Here's some common reasons for why we may be procrastinating. And this is not an exhaustive list, but I think this covers most of them. And so you can kind of keep this list handy. And maybe I'll even put this list in the description box so that you guys can always reference back to it when you're first starting to acknowledge when you're procrastinating and dealing with it in a healthier way. So, common reasons for procrastination. Number one, you're tired. Maybe you were out partying all weekend, or you've been overworking yourself the last few days, and maybe your body is literally just tired. And so, in that case, you just didn't manage your energy correctly. And so, I guess you can decide to either you're going to push through anyway because this is something that you want to get done in a timely manner, but this is not something to be mad at yourself about because your body is literally just tired. You might have just been pushing it a lot lately. And so it just doesn't really have the ideal level of energy to complete this task in the most effective, high vibe way. Two, there's an easier way to do it, and your subconscious just hasn't communicated it to you yet. So this happens to me all the time. There may be something that I'm going to do, something I need to fill out or whatever, and I'll be putting it off and I won't really know why, but now I do know more of like what it could be when I'm procrastinating, but it could be because there's an easier way to do it. I might find out that there's like a shorter form, or I might see a video that helps me fill something out a lot easier or quicker or do it in an easier way. Number three, there's a better time to do it. So maybe today just isn't the day. Maybe it could flow better if you did it tomorrow. Like maybe if it's going to get your license plate renewed, if you go tomorrow, you might actually find out that one of your old friends works there and they're actually going to give you your new sticker for free or whatever, or something like that. Or you may call the airline and they may say, oh, yes, that flight is now only $50 today. It started today. And because you waited to do it until it felt right to you, you were able to take advantage of that more aligned way of doing it. And have an easier time doing it. Number 4, you could be missing key information that can make this a lot easier. Sometimes when I wait, I'll receive more information that makes it so much easier to do whatever it is. And I guess this one is similar to 2, where I said it's easier. Um, where I said there's an easier way to do it, but I guess the difference is when I talk about this one, I'm saying that you might find out a piece of information that you don't even need to fill out this form because it doesn't apply, or you actually don't need to do this at all or go to this training at all because it doesn't apply to you. The information that you don't have could just really affect how you now navigate whatever it is that you're putting on. Or number 5, my absolute favorite, it just works itself out. It actually just works itself out. There's been plenty of times when I've procrastinated on something and it just worked itself out magically. It was something I didn't even need to do or pay attention to. So, yeah, when you're procrastinating, understand that it could be one of those reasons and trust the procrastination after you do your journaling to figure out what it is of why you're actually procrastinating. And you have to learn to really trust your procrastination. It's not about never doing anything, it's about finding the right moment to do things. And that's why intuition is so important, because when you are in tune with your intuition, you're better able to pick up on when the procrastination is hitting you and why you're procrastinating. And this procrastination it's just a mechanism. That's all it is. It's just a mechanism to recognize when there's a more aligned way to do something, especially if you don't feel bad about the procrastination. Sometimes we might feel bad about the procrastination because we know that this is something that just needs to get done and it's just something we just don't want to do. But especially if you don't feel that like guilt around the procrastination, or you don't have a lot of feelings around the procrastination, it's just more like, today's just not the day. Like, don't force it. It's probably for a reason. And like I said, over time, you'll get better at intuitively knowing that your procrastination is for a reason and what your procrastination is telling you. And sometimes you won't know until after the fact when you get that information, or it magically goes away, that why you were procrastinating in the first place. And also being able to recognize if the procrastination is really just your fear or limiting beliefs trying to cover up as procrastination, because that can happen as well. We have to reprogram that hustle mentality, because a lot of us were taught that we got to just push through, just do it, just make it happen, just make it happen. And forcing things is rarely the right way to get things done. And pushing through rarely leads to the best results. The best actions come from alignment and inspiration. Now, could you force everything? A lot of things in your life you can, but you're going to be stressed out, you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to look aged. And I'm assuming if you're on my channel, then that's not the kind of life that you want. You want a life of ease, you want a life of flow, you want a life where you're following your intuition and taking inspired action and things feel good. You don't want a life of force. You probably already have been forcing. And you're shifting out of that. You're shifting away from that. I forced a lot. I forced 4.5 years in engineering school and then forced another 4 working as a sales engineer. And it was absolutely draining. There is that learning curve of understanding when it's your intuition, of when understanding that you're just trying to push through things because it has to get done. And then also when your intuition and procrastination is trying to help you do this thing in an easier way. But that just takes time and that just takes practice. And that's not something that, I'm giving you tools to be able to do it, but it's just going to take practice and it takes time. And that's fine. It can actually be kind of fun. Especially, you can even do it for like smaller, stupid things. That's what I loved to do when I was first starting on my journey. Start doing it for really small things that don't matter. Don't do like your procrastination when you're deciding if you should like sign on a new house or something. That's not the time to put it into practice. Although, like, if you're ready, you can. But I'm just saying, if you're just starting out, do something small. Like, should I order food now or in 20 minutes? Like, oh, I don't really feel like eating right now. But like, just, I don't even know. Something small, though. Start it out on something small. Small things when the procrastination appears. And see what happens when you honor that procrastination and when you dig in deeper to find out why you're really procrastinating. This is also another mindset shift with this procrastination so that you don't feel guilty is you have to know that you inherently are not lazy. You are not a lazy, no good, undisciplined person. so that when the procrastination comes up, you know it's for a reason, right? Because if you have a belief that you are lazy and you never feel like doing anything, um, then when procrastination comes up, you're more likely to be like, "Oh, you're just being a lazy bee." Like, no, you're not a lazy person. You're not a bad person. There's just something extra there. Give yourself the grace and respect to ask yourself why you're procrastinating instead of just assuming it's just because you're lazy. And trust that your subconscious is either protecting you or guiding you to something that's more aligned or an easier way to do it. You have to trust. So, yeah, in summary, procrastination is not bad. It is just information trying to help you and guide you. Pause, reflect, and trust that it is trying to let you know something. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've been procrastinating on and why you might think that is, and any other video ideas that you guys have. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.